Hey everyone, what's up? This is Alvin Mark. Welcome back to the studio. Apologies for this, I just messed up my hand. I was transferring new ink into my Moonman pen and this was what happened. So please, do not let this bother you while you're looking at what's in here. This is the 6th book starting from August. And once again, I'm using a Dura watercolor pad from China, 24 sheets, 300 GSM, and the size is 16 centimeters by 24 centimeters. It's a hardcover with a pocket in the end, lots of goodies in here. But before we get to that, let's run through what's in the sketchbook. Okay, so starting off with a quick sketch at my masseuse or foot reflexology. Went in for a foot massage right after school, and this is the train ride back. Another single train ride, I think a short journey somewhere. And this is, if you remember, meeting Eric Ngan, his wife Kelly, and Kathryn from Australia and New Zealand. They were visiting during the National Day holidays. You can check out this video if you're excited. Here's another train sketch followed by a kopi si kosong, a Singapore traditional or Southeast Asian traditional coffee. Over here, I attended a friend's Mummy's After Dark performance. That's Stan and Wayne. Wayne's my friend. She performs and she was doing something like DJing with her friend over there over at the Esplanade. These are more train sketches and a meal from Don Don Donkey. That's a lot of sashimi. And this is visiting 1932 Story Cafe. I was sketching the inside of the cafe because it just looked really interesting. This is a ticketing booth, by the way, and this is the coffee that I had. More train sketches and back to TPT. It has been a long time since I had TPT, but I'm glad to. And this, I think I got it from Suntec City. During the visit of Eric and Kathryn. This is back at Kizuna at Potong Pasir and trying their onde onde cake. Onde onde cake, delicious, okay? And I paired it with a piccolo white. This is again window sketching at Tin Tai Fung's kitchen. This one is at Marina Bay Link Mall. The chefs had a kick seeing me sketch them, and we had a little photography session right after. This is a matcha fruit tart from Matcha House. Pretty, I had two. And this is just outside of school at Hong Yun Cafe. Nobody knows that, but the coffee shop here serves really good, authentic, local coffee. Many students come here from my school to get their daily fix. And this is in class, my drawing class, figure drawing class. And this is having a salted egg chicken with rice over at 3 meals a day at Sim Lim. Very popular. And this is sketching at the Singapore Pools at Sim Lim Square. Singapore Pools is another word for the lottery or the super lotto. And this is where people are lining up and buying or writing down their numbers over here. The counters are way back here. This is an urban sketching gathering over at Tiong Barhu Market, and this is Akira Takashi. He's a busker. He paints on umbrellas, and that's Uncle Sue, Andrew Sue, making a sketch of Akira, and this is me making a sketch of all of them. This is at the entrance where the escalator is of the Tiong Bahru Market on the ground floor. And me having a cafe over at Paul. This is the inside of Paul, and a berry flag egg a berry flag tartlet. This was the thing that reeled me into the cafe. It was this, and it really felt like being in Paris for an afternoon. I spent about 2 hours there sketching and having a cafe and cake. And this is Nature Harvest, also part of this session here at Tiong Barhu. Since we had a bit more time, I made a sketch of my favorite flower place or florist at Tiong Bahru Market, right there. And it was the same day that KS and YY visited from KL. So if you missed out that video, do check that one out. They are great sketches, husband and wife team. This was a little sharing on old masters and their paintings and how it relates to the rosary in church over at St. Peter's and St. Paul. So I went there to listen. It was really good just to listen to names like Caravaggio, Michelangelo, Leonardo all over again. I really missed that. And this is a moon bunny from Charteris, one of my favorite pastry places. And this was for the September Mooncake Festival. And this was filming day for STB. I saw a bunch of actors and decided to sketch them preparing for their short film for an advert for the installation, new installation at MBS by STB. This is using a green pen. This is using my green pen. This is using my green ink over on a bus trip, I think back home. And this is cafe sketches at the Happy Place, meaning for ice cream. I had that covered too, so if you want to check that out, there's the link. More train sketches, and again cafe sketches. It was a filled week with cafe sketches. There was the Singapore Food Fest happening, and this is the chili crab plant-based burger. And this is the same festival, Singapore Food Fest, over at the Marina Bay car park. And this is a vegetable platter by Bistro. And this was the end, let me adjust that quickly, the end of another sketch walk over at 1 North, organized by Hui Ling, and this is at Takagi Ramen. This is when everyone has left, and I thought, why not? I'm hungry, let's have some ramen. And it was down below. There were lots of eateries there, and this was the one that I chose, the one with the least queue, or the shortest queue. And this is at Shun Cheng Kopitiam over in Chinatown, a new establishment. I was just checking it out. And this is sketching my students when we went out for an urban sketching session. Had a sea salt lychee lemonade at the Food Peeps in between classes. This was refreshing. And just sketching this dim sum place over at Hong Kong Mongkok Dim Sum over at Chinatown, also in between classes, urban sketching classes. I was doing a fundamentals of drawing and brought them out sketching. This is indoors, 5 minutes each of our model, live drawing, and this is sketching one of my students. Ran a workshop here at URA during the ArchiFest, and there was this other workshop that was held right after mine called My Amazing Tower Workshop by Betty. This is Betty, and this is a workshop for kids building things using materials, recycled materials. So thank you so much ArchiFest for inviting me for this session. And this was a celebrating Pokemon and a milk cafe latte over at McDonald's. It was the day I ran searching for this Pokemon tiffin carrier, sort of like a tiffin carrier for my niece. More train sketches. and sizzling matcha brownie with my friend. What I did was I did not pour the liquid on this yet because I didn't want this to melt. So what I did was I finished the sketch, then I poured the liquid and I saw it sizzling. But by then, hey, you know what? It was not hot anymore. This is Matcha House. Again, back at Next, sketching my masseuse while having a foot massage. And this is, I think, one of my students. I think. And this is back at Chateraise for this milk chocolate cake. This is a grab ride and more train sketches. And this is another model session at school, 5-minute watercolor sketch, quick sketch. And this is just sketching a counter. And Flamboyant held its food truck food festival over at the Aliwal Center parking lot, and I went there to capture all the food trucks. That was really interesting. The vendors don't really own the food trucks, so they rented these things that look like food trucks, and the organizers had it parked in the parking lot. So that was really interesting to see. Came with music too, live music. And this is another train sketch, more train sketches, and finally train sketcher, and back at 3 meals a day at Sim Lim Square for lunch. Got a whole bunch of stuff here, just random stuff that I put in the pocket to remind me of where I've been to and what I've done. Yep, so that concludes my sketchbook tour for sketchbook number 7, I think, for the year 2022. This is Alvin Mark. I'm gonna put this back here. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you got a kick out of this. I'm working on more sketches, especially during the school holidays. I have more time to head out and sketch, but thank you so much for tuning into this one. Until the next episode, until the next sketchbook tour, everyone continue to stay well, stay safe, and keep sketching if you're a sketcher. Ciao, ciao.